you do have to show yourself, and I know a lot of Asians don't like to self-promote or toot their horn,
Yeah.
right?
If your daughter inherits one thing from you, would you say you'd like her to be the fighter or the builder?
That's tough. Is you're maintaining an image for those that don't really care about you. Because those that care about you do not care. I would just say they do not care. Anything. A lot of startups, you can't be with a spouse. You can't be with something. Because the toll is too much.
Right.
And most of the friends I knew lost their significant other through startup days. Men and women, both.
Well, that's really awesome, Jim, and I'm really honored to have you on my podcast today. So welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Likewise. And I usually try to warm it up with some lightning round questions.
Sure.
It's like super quick, just one word answers, or if you want to dive in deep into it, it's all the same to me too.
Okay.
So because Jim Huang, he's somebody that was born in Jackson Heights, New York, which is, for most of people that don't know, it's actually right across from Manhattan.
That's right.
And then it's really close to the
Queens,
Bronx.
Flushing.
Yes,
right
Bronx area as well too. And so one thing that kind of set the scene for you is that, it's one of the most diverse cities in the United States. 167 languages apparently is being spoken there. So
it's the immigrant melting hub. And granted, now it's changed a lot since the 70s. And I always remember just looking out, watching the kids play and everything. But that was my dad's first job after he got married. He and my mother went to New York, settled down there because my dad worked for Bechtel as a civil engineer.
Bechtel, and that's one of the
largest civil engineering, structural, did a lot of oil work and everything else around the world. A really large company in the 60s, 70s, even 80s. I mean, still, it's around, but it was in the heydays really big.
Yeah. I mean, energy is something that we need every single day, So he definitely had a hand in that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So first question for you, Jim.
Sure.
Jackson Heights, would it be the version of you that left it? Or is it which one made you the deal maker? Is it the Jackson Heights Jim Huang version or the one after that?
It was after that because I was too young. My sister was born, about 2.5 years later. Then we moved to the West Coast where my dad got transferred to the San Francisco office of Bechtel. And we grew up in El Cerrito, very near Richmond. And that's kind of where I learned, when they bust the other kids in. And those were all my friends from Richmond, where I would hang out in Richmond with all the other kids that they bust in. And I don't think everyone realizes to diversify schools, they actually bust in kids from other neighborhoods.
Is that right? Oh, that's interesting. That's in San Francisco.
Oh, in the Bay Area, on the East Bay.
Yep. In the East Bay. Okay. So that's very formative, it seems like, because if they're busing people in from different areas, then you have all the different cultures, you have all the different dynamics happening.
Yes.
Would that be fair to say?
Very dynamic, very interesting.
Yeah.
Culture shock for some people, and those that could adapt.
Yeah.
You adapt.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna talk a lot about that today because what you shared with me earlier was very interesting. So, is there a deal that got away from you that you regret or regret not having or wish you'd walk away from?
Well, there's a lot of things I wish I would have walked away from, and the only thing I don't want to say I regret, but hindsight's 2020. I would just say there was a person I should have been with that I wasn't. I was just too young. That was the only time I re-looked at my life. I will never regret what happened now. Like I said, beautiful daughter, would not trade anything in the world for this path. But looking back, there was, and I always say the spouse and the person you're with could have been that person. There was one person, but just too young, too early in my life.
Okay.
I didn't understand.
Yeah. So it's actually a relationship instead of a deal, is what you're saying.
Deals come and go, to be honest. I'm sure maybe if it's big enough, you learn from every deal, but no one deal ever really changed my life. And there were deals, you make $1 million, you lose $1 million. I mean, it's big deals.
Yeah.
And other things, I guess relative, right? Other people do a whole bunch of different things. But the only thing that I think, looking back, and I like to do a lot of retrospecting and thinking, right? I like quiet time to reminisce and think about everything and replay and debrief. That the one thing was the right person, right? And there was that right person looking back now.
Yeah. So it's relationships.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And I think especially in the arena that you play in, which is, commercial real estate, you being so successful in that field, you really had to make sure and adapt and change and really skill and level up too.
I would say this, everyone talks about the bamboo ceiling being Asian or some other culture or race. There's always nuances, pros and cons. As everyone knows, model minority, they think we're a good worker. We work hard, we don't complain, we do this. Well, I was the opposite. I complained and argued and I'm very aggressive in meetings that it took people off guard, right? It's like, oh, this guy. But I was always consistent doing it, but also I performed to get opportunities, and this is why everyone needs mentors and friends.
Yes.
Behind the curtain, behind where they make decisions to get you those opportunities. So you do have to shine. You do have to show yourself, and I know a lot of Asians don't like to self-promote or toot their horn, right? They just think, oh, if I perform well, I'll get noticed. No.
That hits
show.
so close to home. You don't even know how much.
I'd love to.
It just hits close to home. So yeah, but keep on. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. But that's why I said for me, I've always was a good performer individually, but as I started moving up the ranks, whether it's running a company, an organization, or corporate, I learned how to deal with people, how to speak up, how to put my foot down. And the biggest thing is, like with any time you have people, you got to learn the dynamics and politics of people.
Yeah.
And when we volunteer, this is why I love Ari, you learn a lot with the lower cost. When you work for corporate, the costs are big because things could happen that you could no longer be there and you're not ready.
Yeah.
Because if you're a career W-2, you need to find another job right away.
Yeah.
If you're an entrepreneur, like many of us out there, you can reinvent yourself or figure it out to replace your income. But it's very hard for a career W-2 to be an entrepreneur. It's easier for an entrepreneur to be a career W-2. It's just they have to behave themselves because they're not their own boss in their time. They just have to listen. Right. But a career W-2 cannot always just jump into an entrepreneur role because they need structure, they need orders, they need systems to go. Entrepreneurs, here's a blank canvas, go do it.
Yes.
Figure it out.
Right.
Make it happen.
Yeah. And it seems like in Asian culture, we're sort of like bred for that. Just follow the orders, follow. You want structure, just keep your head down and just do the thing. That's why it's so hard for most of us to make that, leap of faith into entrepreneurship, because there's no rules, most of the time, there's no set amount of rules. When it comes to entrepreneurship, well, right?
It's funny too, because a lot of the family members that came over, because of the language barrier, they couldn't be the professionals they were in their country.
Yeah.
Right? I've heard many stories. They had to be shop owners, or let's say, different careers, whether it's, sometimes Vietnamese doing nail salon or certain service, people from the Philippine healthcare. I mean, there was all different Koreans kind of doing grocery stores or liquor stores. I mean, there was always these things because they couldn't do their profession of what they got licensed in, and they couldn't pass the test because they didn't have the English skills to pass the test, even though they had the knowledge and the experience. So a lot of our parents or grandparents, they came here running their own business. But the thing is, they realized how hard it was working in the shops all day long, getting shot at and robbed. Right? We all hear all these stories from parents and grandparents that they wanted a better life for their kids. And the one thing that Asians always did was make those sacrifices for education, and they poured everything into the children. But of course, they wanted safety. They didn't want them to suffer as much coming from another country to America. So they wanted us to take the safe path. And the safe path is study hard, keep your head down, keep working hard, and you'll get noticed and good. I mean, and it does work. We did create a very strong, I would say middle class, if not upper middle class,
Yeah.
but not in leadership, C-suite, entrepreneurship. But things are changing. But that's
Yeah.
because a lot of our parents and grandparents, they put us on the path that we wouldn't suffer so much. So it wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
It was that is what they were doing to protect us. But us growing up in this generation realized, wait a minute, that's not the American game.
Yeah.
That's not the game in America.
No.
The game in America is very different than just work hard, study hard, and then you'll get noticed.
Yes. Yeah. By all means, and which is a really interesting dynamic and interplay between from your dad and your mom, because your dad he's like the blueprint guy. He's civil engineer, and then your mom was the accountant, right? And so there's ledgers with that. So which one would you say runs your business today? Which aspect of
Of my parents?
yeah, of your parents?
Oh, I would say neither.
Neither. Okay. Yeah, it's usually one or the other.
No,
but yeah.
yeah. My dad was always smart, followed the line, took a lot of risks. My mom was very conservative and safe. I guess I would be more like my dad in risk taking.
Oh, okay.
In risk taking. But my dad did things a different way. I would say I developed from my environment, from growing up in the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
to be a lot more aggressive, to be a lot more, I would say, understanding my environment and working in teams and groups. That kind of cultivated and shaped me a lot more than anything else. But both my parents did it, the work hard, stay focused, keep going this traditional route. And even to this day, they keep saying that to me. If you would have done this, if you would have done this, you would be. But ultimately, it won't work out for you. But they did say it was a rough, horrible ride for us because of the ups and downs. Because as an entrepreneur, as everyone knows, there's market cycles,
Yes.
there's fluctuation, there's risk, there's certain things that are in your control and out of your control.
Yeah.
I was there in the Great Recession, made a lot, lost it all. So and that's a hard pill to swallow.
I love it. If your daughter inherits one thing from you, would you say you'd like her to be the fighter or the builder?
That's tough. I'm trying to teach her, and this is a crazy thing. We all say the girl dads love my daughter to death. I understand that she needs to be feminine but strong and independent. So it's that balance where women have that delicate balance. You can be, you always say the boss babe and career women. That's fine.
ABG.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We know a lot of them, and a lot of them are great friends. But there's always like both men and women risk and timing, because men and women have different timing that you have to understand. So what I'm trying to do is, for my daughter, is giving her as many skills, mentor and guide her through relationship, friendship. Obviously, I'd say study, keep up with your grades without the tiger parents pushing us insanely hard. And we realized that didn't really matter, right? Didn't matter as much. But to give her that social skills, rounded, seeing what her talents are. And everyone has a different way of growing up. But I kind of pour in really that confidence, that curiosity, and also the grit of not giving up, right? To persevere, and helping her with swimming, martial arts, different things. I just made sure, remember when you wanted to quit and you didn't like it, is to do it a little more until she either, progressed, or she did good enough, which I was okay with, or she just, really liked it on her own, that she says, I like this. And I think most of us now, where our parents just say, here's the path, I'm kind of giving her options and molding her into skill sets that as she grows up, she can carry this with her, but definitely do not want to give her daddy issues, where she has the extreme confidence in herself, the tremendous amount of respect for herself, and then the curiosity of just kind of blooming to see who this young woman will be. So I really love, and this is why the sacrifice is just, my entire time is spent being there for her at this point.
Yeah.
It softened me. It did soften me. Before it was just work. Now it's balance.
Yeah. Well, I could really see the twinkle in your eye when you talk about your daughter, and so it's very It's very touching.
Oh, it matters so much to me. It really changed my life. I could see nothing else. That's why everything that happened in my life because of this point, I would say I would never change my life,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad, and because the love of my life is here, it really made my life a big difference. It gave me a lot of purpose.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, I'd like to go ahead and switch gears
Sure.
into, finding out a little bit more who Jim Huang is and what made him who he is. Because for a lot of entrepreneurs, when they see the finished product, they see the glitz, the well dressed and the snappy um, image of someone. Most people see just the finished product, like I said.
Right.
They don't
Yes.
see what it took to get there, and it seems to get buried a lot. So
It does.
yeah, so I want to set the scene for our audience here of Jackson Heights. It's a rough neighborhood, and especially when you were born, it was going through a lot of flux. And I kind of see a lot of parallels with what's kind of like what Jackson Heights was back in the 70s and Seattle is right now, because Seattle, it's a story of two economies
Yes.
where it's a flourishing city, Bellevue, Seattle, lots of great architecture. But then it's got our challenges,
Yeah.
right? It's got our challenges. So Jackson Heights, when you were growing up, it's kind of the same thing. When you go back to those blocks in your mind, you're walking the streets, what's the first feeling that comes back? And what did that place teach you about safety before you even knew the word?
Yeah, and like I said, Jackson Heights is where I was born. I really didn't go do much until I went to the Bay Area where I was growing up. And I would just say, at that point, you either get picked on or you're the bully, or you try to hide, which is also not good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, growing up in the neighborhood, I learned to be a lot more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people can kind of see it in how my career choices, I always took more aggressive routes just because of the personality growing up in the neighborhood. And this is why, yes, whether it's nature or nurture, but I do believe your environment shapes you. Because when I moved out of the environment, I turned into a completely different person. But while I was in the neighborhood, I adapted to the neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, you also talked about being a third parent for your sister too.
Yes.
And growing up, I feel like being big brothers, which we kind of have in common.
Mhm.
I'm the big brother of my sisters,
Yes.
and you're the eldest
Yeah.
child as well,
Yes.
which I could kind of relate to. I feel like you needed to step up and be that protector as well.
Yes.
And so, did that role, do you think it robbed you of a childhood, or do you think it built that spine in you, that toughness in you ever since?
I would say it gave me the responsibility to look after my younger sister. I liked it. We always would walk her to school, walk her home. I would always take care of her in school, where if anyone picked on her, did anything, I would always protect her. I mean, it lasts for a while until we kind of got older, where she did become her own person. Then we kind of, like all siblings, argue, fight, had our own issues.
Yeah.
But when we were younger, I mean, it was hard to believe back then. I can't even believe sometime in second grade, I would walk to school, bring my sister to kindergarten. And it's now it's maybe a lot more dangerous. But back then we just walked to school, whether it was near half a mile, and just go to school when we're like little elementary school kids and walk home. And our parents weren't even there, and we just learned to make our own food until our parents came home 5 or 6 o'clock.
They
Really
were
strange.
work the whole day.
Yeah, they had to work.
Yeah.
Really strange now. Right now we think about, no way would I let my daughter walk to school, even if it was a couple blocks. I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Right.
I don't think many of the people out there would feel comfortable. But it's just how so many things change, or maybe the innocence back then, earlier on, every decade it changes to now. Sometimes it feels more dangerous, scarier. Even with technology, social media tracking, everything else.
Yeah.
It's different. Where even back then, a lot more innocent, a lot more neighborhood oriented. Now it's so global, tech. The world's gotten so much bigger, faster, and I would say a lot scarier.
Yeah. Well, America has always been sort of like an experimental type of country. Like before our podcast today, I was watching a blog of one of the Fung brothers. I think it was Andrew.
Yeah.
And he was comparing, America and Chinese civilization, where it's like China has been established for the last 5,000 years, whereas America, as an experiment, has only been around for about 250
We're
years.
having that anniversary coming up.
Exactly, right? And so I was looking at that and I'm like, you know what? You're right. Because there's a little bit of that innocence lost, but at the same time, there's that that flexibility that allows people to be more creative. And, it's making the gaps between the people that are creative and that are got that hunter mentality and the ones that just kind of want to be steady and stable, right? And so you said that you respected what your parents did, to keep the lights on. But what is it about the sacrifice, their sacrifice, that you only understood once you were a parent and once you already were
You know
responsible?
what? I always say, sorry, mom and dad. We all should appreciate because they did the best they could.
Mm.
They sacrificed and worked hard and sheltered us from the pain and suffering and everything else they went through. We didn't understand our kids because they were just protecting us.
Right.
They were trying to guide us the best they knew how. Knowing as a parent now and what they actually did was do the best and really protect, right? And they didn't let us see their pain. They didn't let us see their suffering. They didn't see their sacrifices. And until we became either parents or providing for ourselves, we realized, oh my gosh, what our parents did. And now we realize, I don't know if I could actually do what they did for me, right? Because I see and hear so many stories of parents just doing incredible long working hours, 24/7.
Legendary
Right?
stuff.
And then we feel like, yeah, we're kind of tired already, like not even working as hard as they did. So I'm very appreciative to our immigrant parents or the parents that our grandparents that came before us and the amount that they did to pour in. I know everything wasn't perfect, but overall I see, the cultures and everything that happened with the Asian cultures and groups. They did make a lot of sacrifice and did shelter and protect us, and they work hard. I mean, I don't even think we work as hard as them right now. I'm looking at what they actually did for us. I was no way.
Yeah, and just looking back now as you say that, because my parents had me fairly young, when they're in their 20s, mid 20s, and so what's really present to me right now is that people are having kids a little bit later more in life, and so just seeing the sacrifices that they did. I mean, my dad at one point worked three jobs at one time.
Can you imagine that now? 3 jobs.
Making
Like,
pesos.
Making pesos,
Right?
So, it's not easy. It's
It's
right.
not easy.
3 jobs. I mean, when you think about that, it's
Yeah.
like, what the heck?
Yeah, what the heck, and fortunately, he's still around, or your parents still around too.
Still around.
Still around. So you've been blessed with that. We've both been blessed with that. So again, switch gears again. The neighborhoods that you grew up in, San Francisco, Jackson Heights, it made you a fighter.
Yeah.
Right. And it made you a little aggressive too, which I think for the stereotypical Asian American or immigrant, kind of catches people by surprise a lot. Yeah, and that armor really kept you alive, right?
It helped me thrive in a environment where it came to dealing with other people, because other cultures and races are a little more aggressive how they grew up.
Yeah.
Even I would say combative.
Mm.
And if you just kind of kowtow and back down all the time, they know.
Yeah.
And that's the bully mentality also. It's almost like you have to stand up to them. Otherwise, they keep bullying you.
Right.
That you almost have to hit them in the head or in the face or whatever you got to do to defend yourself. So, hey, don't do that again. I'm not an easy person to pick on. And when you are more aggressive, I guess, in a respectful way, in especially corporate or running teams and leadership, because you always get challenged.
Right.
And this is where people are watching, because people are always watching how you react, how you deal with it. and then you get kind of promoted and moved up. And every time you kind of pass the test that higher ups watch you, you keep moving up. And remember, sometimes everyone thinks inter-Asian is a one culture,
Yeah.
but then later on you deal with right African American, Hispanics, other groups and people, white races, genders, and those are different dynamics.
Absolutely.
So you can't just say in Asian we're here because we're pretty much all the same.
Yeah.
We jump into another race or group, it's different.
Right.
So the more you understand, adapt, but you got to understand how everyone operates. That's how you can almost play their game, and then overall the American game, and not to say we haven't done well being middle or upper middle class, but by the entrepreneur or what we're trying to get is our voice and leadership. One, we got to be more collective as a group. But every group says they're a bunch of crabs pulling each other down. Everyone I talk to tells me the same thing. But we got to work more as one. And the harder part about Asians, we don't say we're a monolith. We look like a monolith. We are so many different countries and races. Like you said in Jackson Heights, that you were looking at, everyone speaks all these languages, usually minorities. But Asians, we are not like all China.
Yeah.
I mean, we are so many countries. And that's the hard part of how do we unify, because everyone sees us, right?
Yeah.
As a block.
Right.
But we're not. And there is from, I would say, Pacific Islanders, right? East Asians, Southeast Asians, Indians, all different.
Yeah.
All different.
Right.
So to put us all together, and it skews the numbers, and we had that at ARIA Policy Day, where we do need to see the mean and median. One is very wealthy skews the number, but the mean shows us where the high concentration number, that's the true number of where everyone's at. There's always these outliers that do incredible. You know, you had James Huang in there with the NVIDIA. He skews probably everyone's number and other groups, because right now the India population, there are a lot of the leaders that run Google, a lot of software companies, they're the highest per capita in the groups, right? But there's a lot of like Vietnamese, Filipinos that are moving up.
Yeah.
For a while, I was Taiwanese, and I was like, Taiwanese is pretty good. But other groups are coming up. So I'm very proud that everyone is leveling up. But I would say from career jobs, the next generation, if we keep training and teaching and working together, we will have a stronger voice. We can vote, not just economically, but politically, and then help each other like many other races and groups, which I was very fortunate to be accepted into so many groups, to see how they work as a unit.
Right.
And that's where we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But we're trying to be.
Yeah. That's such a rich answer. And I think what a lot of gets overlooked by a lot of immigrants, like fresh immigrants. I would say I'm still sort of fresh. I mean, I've only been in the United States since 2000.
Okay.
A lot of what gets overlooked is definitely the role that policy has to play, because policy lets you do what you want to be able to do, and also, fees and taxes, right, of doing business in the country. So,
well, I'll just say this.
yeah,
Without the voice, one of our pathways for the immigrants was education and schooling.
yes,
There was been fights at Harvard and other schooling, and this is an ongoing debate, but our pathway is where it's meritocracy. Should we get punished for that?
yeah,
In the sake of diversity? I mean, that's a longer, bigger discussion, and I know it's constantly being discussed, but
right,
for us Asians, if we don't collectively unify to fight and press our needs, we will start losing it versus everyone else, because they, we all want to help each other, but there are some points where, does it hurt us a little more? Does it help you? And there should be the balance, but at the least, we need to unify to get our voice heard. Otherwise, we do get steamrolled on certain items. And I know a lot of Asians now feel we have no place.
yeah,
We're not here. We're not there. Where are we? We're kind of this middle ground of whenever somebody needs us, they use us. And we're not. They don't talk to us.
right,
But no one almost cares about us. That's why Asian hate happened.
yeah,
When you said something, but we did with ARIA's help and other Asian American groups or Asian groups to start voicing this. But still, if one race, I don't want to call it out, I mean, I'm very sensitive about it, but nothing happens. it's like one gets more noticeable than another. Why is that?
Yeah.
And we're all open-minded, and it's common sense. And I know even other side says, yeah, well, but what are we going to do about it? So
Yeah.
it is a work in progress, but I know if we work collectively, because everyone else of other groups sees us as one, you
Yeah.
do, unless they understand culture, and a lot do. I don't want to say it's everyone, because it's
Yeah.
not. That they could understand the nuances and differences.
Right.
And that's why a lot of time for me, I love going to other cultures and races. And instead of them coming to me, I go to them and I fit right in and I do what they do. And to be honest, I love that. I love being just odd and hanging out with all different groups
Yeah.
in their culture, in their ways, driving, well, sometime in the hood or wherever I have to hang out
Yeah.
because I have good friends there and they vouch for me and they
Yeah.
protect me sometimes so I can hang out in certain neighborhoods.
Yeah. I'm the same way. It's because just talking to your own people, there's a familiarity with it. But since you live with it for so much, it's like, okay, it's kind of like you're always we're creatures of habit, but we're also creatures of variety, right? And so I think living the full experience of life requires us to be able to um hang out and relate with different people.
Got to get out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. And so how do you fit in so well? What's your when you enter a new environment where there's strangers, how do you open up, or how do you know how to talk to people? What's up?
I was to say it's like public speaking. It's practice.
Mm.
No one. Some people are naturally outgoing and gregarious. Some people are introverts and shy. But usually, if you're in sales or an entrepreneur, key one, money solves a lot of problems, right? So sell, 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 sell. You need to just put yourself out there to start getting used to rooms, culture, techniques of how to network, how to listen, how to engage conversations. And over time, it becomes natural. It just becomes as a habit. And the biggest thing is you get confident and you have track record. So when I come in because of a lot of things I have done, sometimes your reputation already precedes you. So the people open up and more warmly to you rather than you're sitting in the corner, you feel strange, you don't know.
Right.
And I'll say an example. A long time ago in Southern California, I went to a political event, didn't know anyone, felt like an outcast, like, whoa, man, I'm here. And it's not like the real estate rooms and other rooms I'm in where it's warmed. And it's not to say it's not warm, but I built on it to a point where I learned and got to meet a lot of the political figures by just doing events, networking, getting to know them, that most of Southern California or California politicians I know personally. So I have their cell phones, I have a lot of their contacts because I invested the time to understand the political culture. I joined many groups and I understood and I did events, showed up at events. And it's just me constantly showing up that I started to get invited to, let's say, the Democratic National Convention or parties or events. I was invited. And still to this day, I could plug in just because now you got to start somewhere. I look back, it's been 20, 25 years.
Oh my God.
So after 20, 25 years of networking and getting to know people, you become a fixture too then in these certain groups. But it always starts with just being out of your comfort zone and just keep working at it. And I'll just tell you, once you get this skill set, you literally can go to any group. And it's true, as you get older and accomplish more and do more, your reputation will perceive you. So when you do go, people say, oh, I've heard about you. I know about you. You are mutual friends with so-and-so. Much warmer. But it does take time.
Yeah.
And as long as you start now, if you want to. I don't want people to do things they don't like, but it is important to try to get outside of your comfort zone if you do want to grow. And we all know if you don't push yourself to grow, you actually die. It's like you don't sit still, you actually die. So it is good to keep progressing and being a little uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah.
Just not too much stress all the time.
Yeah.
That's harmful.
Yeah, well, in the business that we're in, residential real estate, commercial real estate, having a reputation that precedes you is so important. Talk to us a little bit more about, how that has helped you being a part of so many groups and people that already know you by face and name.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I would say right now, everyone can build a brand. I do encourage everyone I talk to one, create their own brand, create a website, a landing page, or their LinkedIn profile. So where to find you, who you are. The next is creating a corporation so you can write off, create corporate credit, build yourself up, write off as much as you can. That's how the rich do it.
Right.
And then the big one is everyone needs to create their social media profile and content like you're doing today, Teddy. The more and more you do it, write books, interview people, you build this network, this following, this community, and you just keep building on it. So now that you have this brand, you can funnel it in. And this is the biggest thing with AI. Many jobs are going to be disrupted and changed. If you bring your brand, if you build your brand, it's portable. You can go to do whatever you want because you can tell the story. I got laid off. I got unemployed. People are going to resonate with you. So many people, let's say here in Seattle, have been laid off from the tech jobs or, companies moving out of state. People are going to be unemployed. What are you going to do? So no one is going to fault you for it. But if they don't know who you are and you're just like a resume, piece of paper, they don't know you, Teddy, right?
Yeah.
But by watching your videos, seeing what you're doing on YouTube, just reading through your history, and right, you got to constantly do this. Then you know, I like Teddy. You know what? He shared an experience, and I want to help him. I like him. I've been following, I've been watching, and he's asking for help. I got laid off. I'm unemployed. Something bad hit me.
Yeah.
Your followers and people who are watching you say, you know what? I've been watching. I want to help you. And that's why you're putting yourself out there, building your brand.
Yeah.
Even if it's not in your industry for now, they get to know you. They see your work ethics. They see other good characteristics and skills that's applicable to something else. And as this whole world is changing now with technology and AI, no one's going to fault you. But if you have the hard work ethics, the outgoing personality, skill sets, leadership, many other skills, people will see you not just from your resume, but who you are as a person to at least bring you in for an interview so you can get hired.
That's awesome.
So it is important to build your brand.
Yeah.
No other time can you build a brand this easy.
Right. So that's growing your reputation at scale. And I think that's more parasocial, where it's like, I know of him or I know of Jim. When it comes to being at the groups that you actually get into, how do you build tighter relationships there?
I would always say be an active member, not passive. Volunteer. Volunteer, raise your hand. A lot of people want to put their hand down. Oh, it takes time away from it. That's true. But if you want to grow, and one, I did a podcast and actually a webinar on volunteering. You need to volunteer with somebody, an organization group, one that you care about, but you got to care about the people. Why do you have to care about the people? Let's say you care about the mission, but you don't like the people. You're going to quit. You're going to quit. So you do like to have the mission and you have to enjoy the people. If you do that, usually you will become an active member. You will volunteer. Hopefully you will take leadership.
Yes.
And as you keep doing this, one, you develop your skill set because a lot of times you get hired for a job to learn these things. If you volunteer, it's you learning on the job. Yes, you're working for free, but you're making connections, relationships, you're organizing, you're doing budgets, you're doing so much that volunteering is an internship of a job that you wanted to do. And by doing that, it's transferable in the corporate world or the entrepreneur world. And it can help you build your business and your brand, right? So any organization, I would say, be an active member, but you do have to love the mission.
Yes.
You have to love the people, and don't join just because you wanted to get. Everyone already knows,
Right.
Where's my lead? Where's my referrals? Where's my business? Where's me? And trust me, everyone higher up knows this. They will wait you out to see your true intentions before they give.
Yeah.
And if usually people that are short-sighted or don't like the organization anyway, they will quit before they realize the real value of this organization. But that's okay, but don't be fooled that executives, leadership, board has not seen this. They've all seen it.
Yeah.
Everyone knows you give a lot, you network, you become a good person or add value, people will be drawn and be attracted to you.
Mm. I think that just saved 25 years of game for for people, because for our viewers, because whenever we look at networking, it's always okay, well, volunteering, we're coming into organizations, but we don't make the distinction of actually finding out what the mission is and whether we get along with both the people and the mission itself.
You have to.
It's so important. Like that just made my mind.
Well,
Like,
I'll tell you, people join organizations for the network and volunteer, but they don't like the people or the politics.
yeah,
And then they quit.
yeah,
Because there was a time I said during the Great Recession where one day I woke up, I said, wow, from millions to zero. I said, boy, I don't like myself. I was only known for kind of money and work, but I didn't give back as much as I should have. So later on, I started volunteering to find what I cared about, which was children. I volunteered for scouting. Oh, this is the fun fact that you asked. I volunteered for scouting, taking kids out for 2 weeks on my vacation. And they said, I remembered with the parents in Emerald Bay, which one kid is yours? I said, I have no kids yet. They go, so you were volunteering to take our kids out for 2 weeks.
hey,
You know how they think. They're
Yeah.
like, really?
yeah, yeah,
But because I do care about kids and if they are our future, it was important. And I'm glad I have my daughter now. But before, I just loved mentoring, giving back. And plus, I was a big kid anyway. Scouting was fun. I did all their activities and everything. So it was a lot of fun. The other thing that was fun is diversity. ARIO is very important to me, but all the other multicultural groups, very close with many of the presidents and leadership. That was important because diversity, getting everyone an opportunity and chance. I do believe in meritocracy, but I understand the nuances. But I believe if we can help and uplift each other, we all float, right? We all, rising tides will help everyone float. So it is important that we do this. And then the other thing is commercial real estate. I do believe like Aria's mission of home ownership, but commercial was more interesting to me because we're developing the products. We're putting it together. It was not so cookie cutter,
right.
like selling and going after it. It was more creative of finding land, finding businesses, doing more, a lot more dimensions to it, a lot more working with so many other people in commercial real estate. I gravitated to that and I like working with numbers and seeing numbers and structure. So to me, kids, diversity, commercial real estate, loved it, had a huge passion. So when you see me volunteering, like a lot of commercial trade organizations, diversity groups, and children groups, that's why you see me putting in so much time and effort in those groups. Because I found where my mission and passion was at. Hopefully I enjoyed the people, and a lot of times I did. I got to like and enjoy the groups I was involved in to the point to where I could make a difference to give back and also cross incorporate different organizations together for the synergies to
Nice.
help each other uplift everyone else in a
Yeah.
bigger picture.
One thing I know about scouts is that they are very good at compartmentalizing, and they know the tools of the trade. You work with your hands, and each and every single task you kind of get good at. What do you think scouting particular
Yeah.
taught you in business?
So watching the kids, and we all know about the Eagle Scout. A lot of times, Eagle Scouts, many of the presidents, senators, and people were Eagle Scouts. Eagle Scouts, in itself, sounds great, but what you have to do is when you earn merit badges, you have to learn a lot of skill sets. So you get exposed to so many things. You work on a project. You get your government or congressman or woman, their representative, to write you and get to know you. So you do so many things. And in itself, it's all the skill sets you need. Think about it. Before high school, I mean, this is almost like a graduate level thing to do, that you learn this and then you go to college and it teaches you a lot of discipline, timelines, skill sets, and then you understand yourself a lot better.
Yeah.
What I just believe, right, exposing yourself to so many different dimensions, public speaking, leading, projects, reaching out to your representatives at an age in high school, before high school, to get it. By the time you go to college or afterwards, those skill sets are so invaluable. And I think it is proven by elected officials, lawyers, I mean, those that make use out, propel themselves. And it's just really an organized system of learning all of these skills.
Yeah.
I mean, at an early age. So it is
Which I think is
very important.
disappearing right
It
now
is disappearing.
because there's less and less kids that are playing outside or doing
Yes.
nature stuff.
I would say technology, life is harder. Life is more distracting. When people grow up, I know when it was all boys back then, I always say we knew why a lot of people didn't do scouting. It was because of women and sports.
Yeah.
That's what they did. Chasing, dating, or sports. And it was also perception, it wasn't cool, but skill sets, it's valid. It's
Yeah.
very valid. But if it's not skill sets there, where do you get all your skill sets? And they organize it so you can. And then now they allow more inclusion where girls could join scouting and everything. That's why they don't call it Boy Scouts anymore. They call it scouting.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I was very, very, very involved on the board, a lot of things in scouting.
That's awesome. Most people, when they recollect stories about their teachers, it's either super good or super bad. There's rarely anything in between, or the in between people get forgotten. You had a great experience with one of your teachers.
One of them, but
Yeah.
I always say I had both. One was bad, one was good. You know,
What do you think the good one, saw in you? And have you ever become that person for somebody else, do you think?
I have. I always give back. I always try to stay positive. You know, if you're doing something wrong, I try to correct you in a positive nature. And that's what the teacher saw in me. They said, Jim, I know you're a good student. I know you could do this. You just have to stay focused and not misbehave. Because I was a naughty little kid. And he just said, you know what? I have faith in you. Can you just try harder? Can you do this? And by him taking a positive nature to me, not trying to attack me, right? That doesn't work for an aggressive individual.
Right.
I was more, okay, you know what? Let me try. And then you build on each success and each improvement that it helped me, right? To change it. And obviously moving out of the neighborhood, I completely changed. But I remember that teacher being kind to me and positive that allowed me to make these little micro movement changes in the right direction. Because the other one was a little more aggressive in the wrong way. And I basically fought back.
Oh.
I rebel
Okay.
in a bad way.
Yeah.
And so teachers or adults or leadership has a very profound effect, especially with younger kids, right? Very impressionable, or at any part of your life, right? If people look up to you, you have to be important with that role.
Right. What was it about that teacher that really got under your skin that made you rebel?
Oh, well, they said, they just assumed I was foreign born. And they said, you don't speak English well, you must be a foreigner.
Wow.
You can't say that now. You probably get fired.
Right.
But she said that, and it scarred me because she actually thought, and I think she put me in ESL, and they realized I was born in America and my English was perfect. But for a while, they put me in ESL. I was like, wow, really?
Dang.
I mean, I can't even speak Chinese.
Yeah.
English is my only language, but for some weird reason,
Yeah.
made that comment and put me in ESL. Weird.
Yeah. How did you show her
I couldn't. She was the teacher.
yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Just rebel and show my displeasure all the time?
Yeah.
But who cares? She was in charge of the class.
And that's so crazy to think about how somebody in an administrative position can just control your school destiny. Your school destiny.
Exactly. It's your perception of school, studying, a lot of things. Granted, I had some good ones. But teachers, and I do think they should get paid more. They do impact, but I do think the stringent guidelines of them to help guide, grow, because like I said, I care about the kids, is very important, and they are our future. But a lot of times, sometimes they just want a paycheck or the holidays. I mean, like I said, there's some great teachers, know a lot of them too. And, I'd rather pay them more to help our kids grow up the right way or a better way, to be encouraging, to watch out for bullies, to control the class. And even those that are, well, like me back then, disruptive, kick you out of school,
Yeah.
put you in special school, right?
Yeah.
Because you're messing it up for all the rest of the kids.
Yeah. That's something very powerful to be mindful of. Um, Now let's go from your school life and your upbringing to what kept you coming, what kept you from running back to something else where when you became an entrepreneur versus an employee salary, because you built everything yourself.
Yes.
Take me to that moment where you're like, I'm not. Have you ever had a job in your life?
I have.
Oh, okay.
Working at Dean Witter and then Morgan Stanley was a W-2. From there was an interesting path, but it was a corporate path. And the good thing is, because of skill sets, I did move up the ranks. I did get moved up in positions and opportunities. But through that, you always get jealousy. You always get haters. And there was a point, because I was always creative, a doer, figuring things out. Sometimes I didn't always fit into the corporate box, but I always figured things out. There was a time I got tired, and it was around 98, that I just said, W-2, even though it's a steady paycheck, is not for me. I believe in my skill set. I believe in what I can do. And I took a chance in going to commercial real estate. And that's when I said, it was hard hours in the first year, but by just doing the job, the aha moment came in my head. And it's so funny. I think it's sometimes not so much coincidences, but a sign. My first deal was on Formosa. Formosa's Taiwanese. I'm Taiwanese, and I gravitate and use that, saying, you know what, that's the sign.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it.
Right.
And for then on, I use that positive energy just to keep going, cold calling, networking, making my deals, deal after deal after deal, until I got to build my own company at BRC in Southern California that grew into a very large brokerage firm. But that was the moment I said, I'm going to take it. I'm going to use the sign, knowing that this career is for me. And it actually accelerated me to do it more and harder, more aggressively. And it really set me on the right path of commercial real estate. My first listing was on Formosa. So I said, that's the sign.
Yeah. What an amazing journey. 1998. So you were commercial real estate from Jump Street. And it was
A long time ago.
And is Formosa the street, or is that a company?
Formosa was the street.
Okay.
I was at Marcus and Village, but Formosa was in West Hollywood, a good area. To be honest, I should have bought the building. The person I cold called, I remember the Vietnamese guy, he said to Jim, I'm moving all my stuff from the LA to Orange County. And I did help them buy, he had a whole bunch of AMPMs, gas stations. He did have a lot of apartments. Most of his other businesses were in Garden Grove and Westminster. And I just kept on helping him as I built the relation, exchanging.
Wow.
But it was so crazy. 11 units in West Hollywood on Formosa for $600,000 with $100,000 carrying that. For $100,000, you could buy the property. 11 units back then. I look back now, that property is almost $7 million.
God.
Should have bought it.
Yeah, almost 10x or 11x at that point. Wow.
Leverage money.
Yes.
You only had to put $100,000 on.
Yeah, can you believe it?
And that's all profit. So it's like 70 times your money.
Or maybe 700 times. Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
From 100,000 to 7 million.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Jim, every time you won, somebody showed up jealous and ready to steal a deal from you, take credit. How do you finally learn how to who was really in your corner? And did getting burned make you sharper or lonelier? I have a feeling it's the former.
Yeah. I would say this. I got better at finding out who your friends are with you. So I do categorize people into they're for you, they're neutral, or they're negative. And unfortunately, a lot of times the truth is revealed when you have nothing to give. That's when you know who your true friends are. So every time I went through a cleansing period of losing everything, which I hate, and that's my own fault for being too much of it, like my dad, a risk taker and rolling the dice, will not do that anymore. That's responsibility. But before, I used to do that. And I would always say, when you lose it all, the people who are really your friends show up. They care. They don't care. And right now, I always tell people, the people that care about you don't care what you drive, don't care what you dress, don't care where you live, don't care about the money. They don't care about any of it. They will take you out. They will provide because you are a friend. There's somebody that they enjoy. They enjoy
Their
you
company. Yeah.
being around. And a lot of times it's through history, whether you're friends, and I still have friends from elementary school all the way down. So I always have deep roots. And there's something to say when friends and people that have deep roots, but all my roots with friends are deep. But you will see and know who's in your corner through thick and thin. And the best is when you win or when they win, you truly are happy for them. Not everyone's truly, they kind of bellyache or feel a little jealous.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate that I never really get jealous about anything, about anyone. I'm actually very happy for people succeeding. And I always think, well, I'd rather be their friend who succeeded, become super wealthy, and have some friends that really hit it out the park. And I was just feeling blessed. And, but they're true friends. And sometimes it's lonely for them when they're not successful because everyone wants them for something. But when you're there with them, when they have nothing, too, some people are really far out, hundreds of millions, if not more.
Yeah.
They're very suspicious who their friend circles are.
Right.
And so sometimes, being in the in-between, falling to the bottom, you fine-tune friendships, relationships, trust. And it really is, with everyone trying to keep up with the Joneses and maintain an image,
Yeah.
you're maintaining an image for those that don't really care about you. Because those that care about you do not care. I will just say they do not care anything about anything you can do for them. They just like your friendship and the relationship that you had with them for a very long time. And as you get older, your friends, family, your health is really all that matters. Because everything else is doing, and we always say counting. Of course, you got to make enough money to survive.
Of course.
But no one's going to remember you for how much more you made or more deal. But your daughter and your family, your friends, did you show up? Did you go to the event? Did you spend some time, quality time, having great memories? Because all the times you make money and sacrifices at the office and doing a deal, of course it's important in the moment. But you look back, it doesn't mean anything. But you remember your daughters or sons or your family's birthday parties, anniversaries, trips together, just stupid things where the boys, let's say for me, hanging out, you have these funny ass stories. And I'm just like, that's gold. And to this day, I remember all the funny stories I had with all my buddies and everything. And we cherished it. And when we were younger, we used to always hang out 3 to 4 times a week. I mean, that's how close we are in our 20s and then 30s. When everyone started getting married, it started slowing down, but we are to this day. And everyone's like, wow, you're still close with all those people. And I said, yes. So let's see, those are the real friends. So sometimes I hate, it's hard for when you keep up with the image and maintaining this, because you are doing it for people that really don't care about you, because your friends and family do not care.
Yeah.
They just wish the best for you.
Yeah. So the shared history is something that you really cherish, especially as we grow older as people. Having that shared history, it's such a microcosm of our entire lives, and as we grow up.
Yeah. And that's true, because I saw when you asked me a question of, do you outgrow people? Your friends are there, right? The frequency, and I like social media because you can stay friends and see what they're doing. Because like I said, I have friends since elementary, high school, college, all the way up. I mean, I still have long-term friends. And I watch through Facebook and social media to reach out, wishing them happy birthday, sometime connecting if I'm in their city. But a lot of times it's hard, right? It's hard to connect, especially with everyone with their own lives and families. But I would say more of a work life, for success, the people that you're around, the circle you're around create your success and opportunities. And that's what kind of changes where you may outgrow, depending on different people, the commonalities of drinking every weekend to socializing, to maybe golfing, to traveling the world. And not everyone can do this. So it does change. It doesn't mean you outgrew your friends. It did evolve and change as we go through every step, every decade, through education to first careers and figuring out where my lane is, to having a family, raising your kids. to many people now in their 50s and 60s, watching spouses or parents or other people pass away, right? So it's just a change. But I do think when you evolve, and it usually is the work life, you gravitate for that stage of your life who fits into what you're trying to do and accomplish, but not to say you outgrew your friend. Your friends are true friends are always there. You're always there for them. So if they ever called you, drop of a hat, you go, you do whatever you can do, and you help, right? And that's where it's great with social media. But I understand where your circle may change just for where you're at that point of life and what you may want to do and accomplish and achieve. And usually, depending on where you're at, I would say more entrepreneurials. You push the envelope a lot more because your circles start getting a lot higher. And, you know, for me, I always say every day I speak to at least 3 execs every day. So that's how I leverage and I get such good intel because I get information that's not out there and I hear from people all the time.
Yeah.
And those are the circles who I constantly speak on a weekly basis. And everyone's speaking to different execs and leadership around the world that we start getting knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what you have to do.
That's awesome.
But I don't ever think you outgrow your friends. You do change for what you would like to accomplish and do in your circle because you just can't spend time with everyone all the time. You just, life is tough.
Life is tough. Yeah. And very busy.
Yes.
Take us to a time where you had a very bad betrayal. What was the biggest lesson you learned from that?
It's my fault.
Yeah?
It's my fault.
Wow.
The
Radical responsibility.
No. There's the warning signs are always there. You just didn't see them, didn't want to see them, or you were lazy to implement. The signs are there. So I don't like to blame other people. I take accountability for myself. However things happen, I say it's a learning lesson, and it's my fault.
Yeah.
Because I'll just tell you, usually the signs are there.
Was it a certain way that they sort of like distracted you, or what was it?
It's always small stuff.
It's always small.
It's always small where it's taking a little bit of money. It's fighting or saying certain things. You know, those are signs, and those are red flags.
Being argumentative.
Well, usually it starts small and then it builds to something bigger, but the signs are always there. And if you're in charge or other things, you know what you can possibly do. But I would always say, I always take accountability because whether I didn't put the right people in the right places, I didn't put systems and governance in the right places, it's all me. Because if I'm in charge, I take ownership. I don't blame other people. I said, okay, good lesson.
Yeah.
And that's why every evolution of failure, I learn from it and move on and become stronger. Because I consistently, one thing about me is I will keep consistency. I'm one of those grinder grit guys that I will just keep going.
Yeah.
I always maybe too dumb to stop or too dumb to quit. I just keep going. But the funny thing is you keep doing it, opportunities just happen.
Right. Tell us about that, the importance of consistency, because something, I mean, I know 2 Taiwanese people, one of them is you, other one is John Sai.
Yeah.
And you guys are super, super consistent.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the importance of consistency for, in especially in the commercial field?
Yeah. So consistency beats intensity. Intensity is just large sprints.
Yes.
Consistency get you there because what happens with consistency is it's like dollar cost averaging. If you invest at a certain time in the market, you can't time the market.
Right.
But if you're in the market all the time, consistency, you outperform. So that's why instead of running quick and doing things haphazardly, you just keep doing it. Keep improving, right? Kaizen, the Japanese, small improvements, small changes every day if possible, weeks, months, quarters, years. You add that up, it becomes large effects. So I would always say when you're consistent, it's time in the market.
Yeah.
You can't time anything, which is intensity. You stay consistent because usually there's always a brighter day, even when things are bad. You survive recessions. You get through things in life. You just keep moving along and start going forward. And we all know through very difficult things in life, by staying consistent, you're in the market all the time. And over time, if you just stay in it, it goes up. And that's why I see consistency beats almost anything. It's like the turtle in the hare.
Yeah.
Just stay consistent.
Have you heard of the book called Slight Edge?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So very, very akin to that.
Yes.
Yeah. You said at one point, success kind of got to your head, and winning exposed how undisciplined you were. When during the struggles. Walk me through the come down, and what did that lesson teach you?
Of losing.
Yeah, that was a hard lesson. I think all entrepreneurs let success and money catch up with them, that they don't realize it could be taken away. And maybe or maybe not, you could rebuild it. And that's the scary part.
Yeah.
But you can lose it all, right? You can lose it all. Everyone out there, may have gone through this experience. But there is sometimes setbacks that wakes you up, but it's a very painful wake-up call. And a lot of people through the 2009 recession lost everything.
Yeah.
And some people that I unfortunately knew thought it was insurmountable, that they took the ultimate. Yeah. So it's not, how people handle it, right? The right attitude. But it does wake you up to keep you grounded, make you more grateful, keep you happy. And I always say happiness is within you. You can really be happy at any time. But you're unhappy because you compare, you look at other people, you feel like you don't have enough. Instead, most people know by being just born in America, you win the lotto.
Yeah.
But they feel, oh,
Some
this person
people
has
don't
that.
even see that,
You win the lotto just by being born in America. We have water, we have all this, yes, make the tax, whatever. But some people are just there. Can I survive the next day?
That alone is very legendary and heroic for some. Just surviving the next day. Just make it through the next
Yeah,
day.
so when you have that appreciation, gratefulness, right, doesn't mean you're going to be lazy, right? I don't think anyone should be lazy. You should do a good day's work every day, or something, right? Something that you're passionate. But I think people just have the wrong attitude about they don't have enough, or they are not given enough, or they were discriminated or something, a victim. And I'm just like, yeah, that could be true, but what are you going to do about it?
Right.
If you have the right mentality of happiness, gratefulness, gratitude, I do believe in law of attraction and energy. You start surrounding yourself by those that have the same attitude. Then, yeah, you're right. All of us, we've been oppressed, or we've been this, or we've been bamboozled, right? Then those never go, and they become hostile and angry, rather than everyone's like, you know what? Let's share ideas. Let's build. Let's give back. Let's mentor. Let's help. Different mindset. And attitude and mindset is very important. Gratitude, gratefulness, and all that is also. And I always say you could be free any time of happiness. Granted, what is your definition? If it's rich, you want to be with all this money that you can do all this, that's different. You got to work hard for that. But at any time, if you don't compare and are just happy, you can be happy at any time. And grateful that you have health, and a lot of people don't have health, or when you travel the world, you see people just surviving the day.
Yeah. Comparison is the theft of joy.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yes.
They call you Jim, commercial real estate genius, right? And deal structuring wizard. Okay. Walk me into a deal that should have broken you, and what did you see in that deal that nobody else saw,
Where you came out triumphant.
Well, I think during the Great Recession, I had to renegotiate everything.
You renegotiated everything.
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 You had to be humble. You had to be grateful. You had to beg. You had to do anything you could to keep it going. Like say consistently, kick the can down the road constantly. The U.S. economy did the same thing. They just kept going another day, another month, another couple of months until the year, multi-years, until you got through it. I literally had to talk to people, renegotiate, beg, everyone, even borrow, steal in a way that, can you help me? Can you help me? So I constantly had to ask, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you do this, please? Can you do this? And I was negotiating constantly just to stay afloat, to keep going, to live another day. That was the hardest thing. But the most grateful because that's where I say people are war generals when you go through it, because you're never been so beat up, never been so tired. You really have nothing, and you're constantly fighting to live another day in business, right? I did learn some stuff about my ego and other stuff, but the tenacity and nature of just live another day is how I live. And people ask me, how did you get through this? How did you keep the company alive? How did you do all this? Live another day. So every day was wake up, do the job, talk to the people, get it done, kick the can another day, kick the can another day, until one day I woke up and it was like, oh my gosh, a year or two passed, and now I'm out of it.
I've heard Grant Cardone say, it doesn't take money to make money. It takes courage to make money. And something I see in you is that tenacity, that fighter mentality. How do you keep that fire burning alive of just being courageous and knowing that you're going to win in the end?
You know, I always say from and now, it's because I do have track record. So because I have confidence, I can do it. It is also, everyone says it's who you know, the circle. Because of now, I have a good friendship, a good relationship group, understanding how to organize, forming our Renaissance group and many other groups.
Which I love the name, by the way.
It was with my partner, it was with Jeff Fit, and we all put it together, but with all these networks and groups, showing how everyone can win and thrive is how I got to have all these pieces. And with people, integrity and trust and leverage, because you can only do so much with your time by yourself, right? Time for money. But if you leverage and build businesses, you get net positive, right? So whatever you do becomes a multiple effect. And then you create companies to create more passive income, to create more opportunities that you can really invest, diversify. And it keeps building upon itself to a point you go, wow, there's a lot coming in. I can't spend that much anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the exciting part. And then you go and give back and you help out and try to do, and find people that have the right mindset. And I would like not say worthy, but you want to help. You see something in you that you want to help them. That's why
alignment.
And it takes time because there's a lot of fakers, foolers. People pretend because they want something, but over consistency, and I'll tell you, doing this enough, I can see it pretty clearly. I won't call people out. There's nothing for doing. I just let it be, and later on, I'll just make a choice if I want to be around that person. That's all.
Well, that's kind of like why, part of, social media culture tends to turn me off a little bit, because there's a lot of rented Lambo, right? Rented houses and that sort of thing. And then, they're like flash in the pan, so
it's all marketing and show.
Well, yeah,
they're presenting a sales image that you want to be me, and they're not really living that life.
Exactly,
it's all fake.
Yeah, especially in the newer generation, right? It's so odd because it's more of a recent phenomenon.
Yeah, it's a recent phenomenon.
So,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
but it makes people feel bad.
Yeah,
a lot of times, because until you grow up and you learn, you just feel, man, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not there, or what's wrong with me?
I think that's the bad effect of it too, right? It's a less terrible. Desirable,
because everyone's showing just only the good side, the great side. So those that are just regular, just working hard, they just feel less than.
Right. It's comparison again, right? You've lived through cycles most people only read about, Jim. And in Seattle right now, what do you think everybody's panicking about that's actually the opportunity? And what's the sure bet that you wouldn't touch?
The sure bet I wouldn't touch?
Yeah.
There's always opportunity in every city, whether it's good or bad. I would always say you need to keep your eyes and ears open. So when the opportunity, the bus comes along, you have the will to grab it. Most people say, oh, I would have done that. I seen that. Well, did you?
Yeah.
Did you pull the trigger? Yeah. No, I didn't. Okay, well, that doesn't mean anything then.
Right.
So
sit down.
Yeah. A lot of people say, hindsight.
Yeah.
And just, kind of this weird predicting of things that already passed.
Oh, yeah.
But I always say opportunities do keep coming along. Cycles always do happen. That it allows you, if you have the confidence to pull the trigger, grab it, or if you can't do it alone, find a partner that will.
Mm.
So that's okay. If you didn't do it, find somebody that may be good to partner with. They pull the trigger and you coat them. Because sometimes doing it alone is scary. You partner or form a group, you do it together. Okay, you don't have 100%. You have 20%, you have 50%, but you're learning something. You're building something and growing something that could be great. So I found if I don't want to do it alone, I diversify risk. I build partnerships and teams. I assemble the right people to tackle that opportunity when it happens. But it is important to, like what we did in Renaissance, is prepare this network group of advisors, capital, just experts, right? Connected people all around the country and the world. So when we see it, we can execute and act on it. Because a lot of us are not afraid to roll the dice or make a calculated risks to do it. So that is where there's always an opportunity. Markets come in cycles. Patience is important. If you can do it alone, partner with people. Form a team.
Amazing. Again, it shows the importance of really establishing and cultivating and really creating relationships
Very good.
and alliances, right?
Very
Strategic
Trust.
alliances.
But you need trust. You can form all these, but if they don't trust you, they're not going to do anything. They will do absolutely nothing for you.
Speak on that. How do you elevate somebody's trust in you?
Time.
Time.
I always say time and intensity. So I always say it's like a box. How long have you known this person? And how intense have you known this person?
When you talk about intense, do you talk about trials and tribulations?
Yeah. Situations that break people, that shows your true colors. It's very easy when things are really bad. Do you go after each other or go, you know what, let's solve this problem? And when things are hardest, that's the intensity. But then it shows how does this person act under pressure. So it does have longevity, which when you build friendships, length of time is important.
Yes.
But if you just have, casually see people, that's not intense.
Yeah.
That's not like you slept over their house, you carried people home drunk before, or just these funny stories. That's intensity, right? So the longer you do these things together, it shows you, how large the area or surface area is, or volume. So it does tell you what this really is. So I always say that is how you know and test people.
Yeah.
Because people will fake and pop out of the woodwork when they need something. And that's my clue too. When they ask before getting to know you or trust you, they just ask.
Right.
Okay, I don't fault your ask. No.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know you. But a lot of people ask. No fault. But I always say I stay open-minded too and listen and learn because you never know, right? You never know. But all you have is your time is to find where the referral or the information came from so you can go deeper dive to see it as an opportunity because you just never know.
Right.
But if the deal passes by you and you miss it, it's okay. There's another buzz.
Yeah.
There's another opportunity. So don't ever feel, and I love I don't love, when people say, oh, you better act on this. This is what you do. Because usually those people, you lose money. Because they're forcing you to do something. Why?
Yeah.
And a lot of times this too, the real deals and the opportunities you'll never see. It's within a closed friend circle. So by the time they get you out of the, it's when the barber hears it.
Yeah.
It's a deal that's been out there. That's not a deal. That's a marketed, out there, shopped around deal. Most good deals, I always say you will never hear or see it because it's all within an inside circle group. Yeah. And if it's a great deal, we all bought it ourselves. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
That's dumb. That's why I love when people say, oh, I got something for you. Oh, why am I so lucky?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not. It's not a great deal.
That's ultra instinct right there. Oh, that only experience could actually summarize in such a simple and profound way. So I appreciate you for that. that's
long time, and then I watch it play out, and I'm like,
yeah. So how long has it been? 30 years?
30 years.
30 years in the business of commercial. And it's commercial has always fascinated me because I feel like it's such a bigger game. There's so many different stadiums and variables that actually come into play. Last night I was at a at a Greg Pinio live event, and he shared one of the stories of one of the deals that he went through where it was like there was something with a sewer line. And I can only imagine where, say, like we're thinking like a building like this, and there's way more things that could go wrong, right? How do you do your due diligence? Say if you're helping a client, or if you're trying to buy a deal, and average the risk and the reward to it.
Yeah, you mentor, you learn from somebody, and I wish I had better mentors or other mentors earlier on, but you always learn, right? And then you have a team of experts within any specific field that there's no, I would say, incentive for them to mislead you, but that's over time and trust that they just give you the straight, even if you don't like to hear it, you want to hear it. And that's where you can only know so much depending on the deal, the complexity, the large dollar amount. You do need lawyers, CPAs, construction development. You need engineers. I mean, you literally need everybody in your Rolodex depending on deal and opportunity, because when you start asking all these people, the deal is pretty dang complex.
Yes.
And when it's that complex, the dollar amount better be big enough to either pay for everyone or service everyone for the deal. So you have to first look at it. Is there enough juice in the deal? And overall, you can kind of figure it out to then engage all your experts in your circle to do the deal. And the good thing is they won't always ask retail pricing. They'll probably give you wholesale so everyone can get in and you can make the deal happen. The problem is everyone asks retail or daisy chain to squeeze all the deal out. A deal could be a marginal deal. Now it's a horrible deal because everyone's trying to, reach in.
Yeah. It's amazing you mentioned daisy chaining, that it actually happens in commercial
All the time.
as well.
All the time.
Interesting.
All the time.
Yeah. I thought that was just a residential.
No, anytime anyone could middle, and which is not so bad if you're just one, but some people put 2 or 3 into it, and they demand for just passing a piece of paper, or I heard it from a person, it just gets so ridiculous that once I hear it, I say I pass.
Yeah.
I said, unless you can give me the source or a reason that I could price everyone in. If it doesn't make economic sense, then forget it.
Yeah. What sort of deals are you looking for right now? I mean, do you have high level?
I'm actually building, the Renaissance Network, helping with a lot of startup companies that I've been involved with for the last 10 years, and creating new acquisition and new companies.
Oh.
So a lot of
M&A?
Well, not so much M&A. We're just creating the companies, but
Actually creating them. Startups.
Startups, but they're with founders and existing founders. I would say one from Y Combinator, it's $100 million valuation, and others have other higher valuations too that I'm assembling and putting part that I was part of either their advisory or board member or somebody.
Wow.
Because I have the relationship and I have other resources now. I'm putting pieces together to form new companies and build new cos.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I stopped doing deals, but I will pass the deals to our team and other friends and relationship. And I am forming at this point so many partnerships, strategic partnerships, using technology to really enhance the costs, right? The profit margins and the opportunities that become quicker.
Wow.
Quicker, better, faster, cheaper.
Yes.
Amazon model.
Yeah. Oh, Amazon model.
No, it's like the Amazon model.
Oh, the Amazon
Right.
model.
Because
Yes.
that's what you need to do is reduce costs, make it quicker, faster, and we're putting a lot of puzzle pieces. And actually, some of my partners were ex-Amazon people.
Oh, is that right?
Pretty high level, yeah.
Wow. So not so much in real estate per se, but now more in technologies, right? Man, NVIDIA, just the other day, they announced $82 billion worth of profit year over year.
It's crazy.
Where do you see that coming into play in our area, and what sort of role do you think you're going to play in that area?
Well, you know what, AI, and because it's technology, I like it. I always say build a company, take some chips off the table, try to exit, try to position yourself as quick as possible. With AI, you can create an MVP, a product, a prototype very quick. What you can't do right now is to scale it and get users to monetize. So a lot of people can build a prototype with AI, but how are you going to attract clients, customers, trust to make money from it? You can't. So many people try to, I know, leverage our group and our contacts so they can scale and make money. They just built a prototype through, AI, Claude, Lovable, Replit, all this stuff, and they're just building stuff, which it's pretty cool. I mean, normally, back in the day, a lot of us share stories that we paid at least $100,000 or not more to build these things, and now you can build it within a month, definitely within a quarter. If you know what you're doing, you can build some fantastic products. It's amazing what you can build.
Yeah.
But that's what I worry, as everyone says, with the job market. And whether you say, AI is going to take your job in this, it's going to reduce headcount. It's going to eliminate, a lot of times we think, entry-level jobs, middle management jobs, a lot of things that are paper pushing, a lot of jobs that can be automated. And whether it doesn't hit you now, if it's already touching and creeping into your industry, it's going to get only better. So I'm not here to debate or argue with people. I'm just here to say it's here.
Right.
We don't know about the timing, and that's the big thing, the timing and what government regulations will do. Is when it happens, it will happen. But I say if you have the extra money, you do invest in NVIDIA.
Yeah.
And all those chips, AI, robotics, and that's what I do to get a good leverage return. But while you're in it, still trying to build a career, I mean, you always need to keep your eyes and ears open and learning and listening and networking and spending the time without just constantly networking and listening and not making any money, but knowing where you need to position yourself, right? Where's the puck going to go? And that's what I'm listening and learning to everyone and assembling parts to get to a situation where we can take some chips off the table or outright exit pretty well.
Interesting. In your creative, brilliant mind, because there's a lot of startups in our area, SaaS, that are, they're hemorrhaging money right now. What would you think, and we're just kind of thinking out loud at this point, what would you say would help them become profitable and monetize?
Some of them can.
Yeah.
No, some of them
I
can.
know.
Some of them,
I know certain companies.
right.
Yes.
Some of them just keep liking to raise money, good money after bad in a way, and hopefully kicking the can down the road, a solution happens. But there's going to be a point where no more money wants to give you money, and how are you going to run operating costs? You just can't.
Yeah.
Then you're out of business.
Yeah.
So the problem is many companies shouldn't be in business. It's almost like the old .com. You were a website with all these eyeballs, no money.
Right.
Well, we saw how that went, right? This is similar, where you're building a product, but you can't monetize it. It looks great, it does stuff, but it does cost money or partnerships to get the data, information, clients, so you can build. But there's a window because it's so easy to build a product now that depending on relationship, you can plug in and partner faster than other people. And that's why you need to know a lot of people are running these startup, ventures, and everyone's running around and everyone knows the same people. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I hear from my friends that what they're going and what they're doing, and everyone runs to the same stuff. But it is sometimes those companies they're not going to make it, and they shouldn't make it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's up to the founders to keep kicking the can until they can find a solution, an exit solution, a monetization solution, or a reduction in cost.
Yeah.
To stay alive until better days.
Right. Because at the end of the day, that's what you do a business for. It's solve a problem and hopefully make a profit.
Yeah.
Right.
Takes time.
Yeah.
And takes a lot of grits and will, because a lot of founders I talk to, the sacrifices from their easy career W-2, sometimes they kick themselves, go, why did I do it? Because everyone thinks it's going to be quick and fast. Sometimes it is. I have friends that are 5 to 10 years in.
Wow.
And they gave up good $500,000 jobs.
Oh God.
Yep.
That probably happens more often than we
It
know
does.
about. Huh?
It does.
Yeah. Because we the glitz kind of get over glamorized a
The
lot.
glitz, the I can do it,
Uh-huh.
and then it really takes a toll on you. But a lot of them, they do keep going. They won't quit either. But just watching them on conferences and meetings that we have, and I'm like, wow, that's painful. And I went through it my first time around, and others, where The startup is, you always see the successes, like you were saying, but the challenge of getting there and the day to day until it happens or not even happen. Sometimes you could have wasted, or I don't want to say waste, spent your whole time. You always learn something, hopefully. It's tough.
Yeah.
And most times it's tougher than the success.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when mental toughness really comes in, you know.
It's everything.
It's
And
everything.
the right attitude. And I'll tell you this, a lot of startups, you can't be with a spouse. You can't be with somebody
Yeah.
because the toll is too much.
Right.
And most of the friends I knew lost their significant other through startup days. Men and women,
Yeah.
both.
Touch upon that, you know, that's almost a question I did not ask. But, you know, for a lot of very driven younger folks right now who are, you know, maybe they're in relationships, but it's one of those things which I could kind of relate to is you didn't get married because you weren't, it's not, you didn't get married because you weren't sure you'd make it in commercial real estate, but, you know, you bet your personal life on that dream. So would you say it was the right call? And in relation to what you just mentioned, well, how would you have done it differently if there was a way to?
Yeah.
Would you?
Well, because I have my daughter, I would say it all played out correctly. I would say going back, depending on what phase of your life, you do need to communicate and get your spouse to be committed. But it's hard. They could say yes and then they don't like it.
Yeah.
They change their mind. Because entrepreneur startup phase is 24/7. That comes before you.
Yes.
And anything could happen that you could be taken away or you could be bankrupt and
Taken out.
homeless and live in the car. And you got to be ready for it because the alternative good side is you could have so much money and success that you can do anything you want. But a lot of times it works out horribly. And the spouse, men and women, they're not ready for it. They're really not ready for it. And most of my friends now say, man, doing this, I'm never going to be with anyone until I get through this. Either I lose it all, go back to a career, W-2, or I hit it big, then find the right person to be with. But very many women and men that I've seen, especially tech entrepreneur, didn't make it
Yeah.
with their significant other.
Yeah. And I think that's just the casualty of, you know, of
Put
what
it
it
out there.
takes, what it really takes,
What it
you know,
really
to be a
takes.
business, to be an entrepreneur and a business person. You know,
Yeah.
I'm the first entrepreneur in my family. Every one of them is employees.
Yeah.
And you know, there's always that kind of creeping doubt. They kind of look at you like, "Why the hell are you doing this?" type of thing.
You
It's
should
like,
be stable.
you should just, you know, get a job, you know, and but you know, we there's something in me that
You weren't built that way.
I wasn't built that way, baby. You know? So, oh man. This is so good, Jim. And I really appreciate you taking the time, sir. We're coming down to the last few questions. The power of youth, Jim. You know, I could see you because you're so vibrant, you're so high energy, and you know, talking to the younger version of yourself, you know, has unlimited energy, massive chip on his shoulder with something to prove. I totally related to that, you know, that portion of your story. Was there ever a time where, you know, you there was that you got into that personality sort of trapped you, and then, you know, what is it about newcomers that you will tell them that you need to see coming? Because there's a lot of driven entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs right now. You know, you can see them all over social media. They don't brag about their, you know, their wealth, but they got that energy, man, where it's like, you know, if I was only that age and I was, you know, and I had that drive and that, you know, wanted to, you know, to win ish of it, what would you tell those younger
Get a
guys?
mentor, have a circle. So a tribe. You do need a mentor that you want to be to guide you. Say no. Say this is wrong. Right. You need to have trust and that friendship, but they're your mentor. But you also need a tribe which is accountable. That's great. What are you doing about it? You're just dreaming, or are you implementing and doing? The tribe will keep you honest, but also support you. Oh man, that's terrible. Let's go for a drink. Let's have a dinner. Let's cry about it. Let's feel sad about
Just chop it
and
up.
get back up,
Yeah.
right? So you do need that mentor to guide you, help you, advise you, and you can always not outgrow, but you stepping stone. You go to the next one as you keep succeeding, and I've done that personally where each one I moved up and adjusted to people I talk to and counsel with. But you need that tribe. The tribe is your accountability, your support network. People really care about you, right? Uh, and I don't want to always say they don't have to be super high achievers, but they have to have something to add a balance or something to wisdom, guidance. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you don't want everyone of the same type,
Right.
because then it's an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And then, no, that's not right. So you do need a trust group that you can have consenting of views or dissenting of views, and you can have people talking in a constructive way to help each other, and knowing that everyone's genuinely there to support and help each other thrive and succeed as a group. And that's why there's always a PayPal mafia, this mafia, that group, because they all did it.
Right.
They all probably slept in one bedroom, did all this crazy stuff, and then they all built it. But they got the skills, and they keep building it and growing. And they all had mentors.
Right.
So if you look at that, to have a mentor and have a tribe, it will help you propel. But trying to find the right is the hard part.
Yeah.
But that's hard. Finding the right mentor that's a good fit, and getting you the good tribe that really genuinely cares, that doesn't feel a little,
Uncomfortable. Yeah.
or jealous. That's hard. That's
Yeah.
hard. And that's why people say they create masterminds. And a lot of times, if you can't find it, you build it.
Right.
Right? You build your own. And I've done that a lot where I couldn't find it, so I just go build it.
That's awesome. I mean, in a lot of ways, yes men and yes people are sort of like harder to trust than somebody who would give you the real sauce, right? But the delivery mechanism of giving you the real sauce, it can't really come from a way that's like, just kind of like putting you down or something like that, right? It's so hard to find, like you said.
It's very hard. Sometimes you will lose friendships. They take it the wrong way. You do need to apologize, send it back, because you are a friend, to say, look, I'm really here for you. And if I need to either resign or quit, I'll do that for you if you don't feel we're a good fit. And I've said that I want to be here for you. I'm looking at, from my point of view, my best intention for you. But if you don't think I'm a good fit, it's okay. I've been through that. We're still friends. I would rather before it gets ugly. So a lot of times I will exit, so it doesn't have to be uncomfortable for you to fire me or something, or makes it hard for you. I will exit myself. Or I'll feel when it's time for me to exit. So there's no reason to lose, a relationship or something. And people are fragile, and everyone has different triggers and other stuff that you understand. And by doing it enough, and I think that's just experience, and other people do this, it's just knowing when to walk away.
It almost takes a sixth sense, almost. Yeah.
It takes time, yeah.
Yeah. Jim, you said you never change a thing because of your daughter. So take me there. Take our audience there. Every fight, every setback, every stolen deal that led to the moment you held her for the very first time. What did that kid from Jackson Heights and Richmond feel when he became somebody's whole world?
It was beautiful. And I've always known I wanted to be a parent, wanted to be a father. So when I had my daughter, it was the best thing. And I think I got a daughter instead of a son. It softened me. And my mom's like, yeah, boy, because of,
Yes.
and legacy, carrying on our last name. But when I had my daughter and watching this, I would never change it. I said, this is the best thing on earth for me, because the loving daughter softens me up, is my whole world. I mean, I get to guide this beautiful young girl to a young woman one day, hopefully passing her to the right man. I just love that. To me, that is the most valuable treasure thing I could have. And, for me at this time, it's just everything. And because the end result, right, the pathway that wasn't easy, really didn't matter because of the end result. Sometimes the ends justify the means in certain ways, but because my daughter was here, a lot of the pathways, because if I didn't go through different things, I wouldn't have got hurt. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I always forgive everything because I have peace in my heart and my mind about it. I just forgave a lot of things. No, I just, forgive everything and anyone and just moved on. And now I live my life very peaceful, simple. Still work hard. I always say I like to work. I'm a deal junkie. But with my daughter, it's like my precious time when I get to spend with her. So I work like crazy. And then when I have time with her, I play like crazy.
Yeah. Nice.
I love that.
Yeah. When you say you let water pass under the bridge, was there a time where you weren't quite like that?
It was a long time ago. When I was a kid, I learned to forgive. And I learned, I was very fortunate not to be jealous or bellyache about other people's success and what they were given. Maybe I felt my life was never that bad anyway. So I just never felt really jealous or envious or any of those traits. I was just happy for people. And as I got older, I really just forgave everyone. I really don't hate or not like anybody.
Yeah.
If it's somebody that makes me, not be around, I just don't stay around them. But I don't hate on people because I think a lot of times when you hate on people, you're wasting your energy.
Yeah.
Because they're not even thinking about you a lot of times.
Right.
They don't care. So why are you wasting your time? Why are they?
Absolutely.
You're giving them space in your head. Just let it go. It's gone. Just don't be around that individual. Simple.
What do you hope that your daughter gets about you someday? Because growing children, there's always a tension between parents, right? What would you hope is that she never feels she has to prove to you, because you already proved it for her.
Well, like I said, I want to give her the confidence. I want her to give her self-assurance in herself that she could achieve and how she could do it, but it's okay. And we have always talked about it, to fail, to make mistakes, but never give up, stand up again, look at things in the right orientation so you could adjust whatever you need to do, but trying to give her just the confidence, the forgiveness, the stand up and try it again. There's no failure until you quit and stop doing it. That's when you don't achieve. And even with that, I said, I still love you and it's okay. But I hope you stand up and you keep going and you readjust. Yeah.
Awesome. Is there something that you'd like to share to our audience, maybe about your group or what you're planning right now?
Yeah.
How to connect with you?
Well, thank you, Teddy. Well, you can form and see me on Renaissance globalnetwork.com or on LinkedIn at James Huang, Huang, and connect and love to catch up and learn from each other. And our Renaissance group is a network of past presidents and leaders around the world. Many of the technology we own or run, so we have good tech, and we plug into opportunities everywhere in the world, from education, mentoring, because we have tech, sending referrals and leads. And in commercial real estate, we have a lot of services from site location, construction development, capital markets, sales. I mean, you name it, because everyone has been friends, especially in commercial, for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, we have friends 40 or 50 years in this business.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
40 or 50 years.
Wow.
I'm just 30, so I'm still a youngster. And everyone was a past president, leader of something. So all of us working together, because we don't want to be retired, there's always something to do. And a lot of times in real estate, right, not even just commercial, you work until you want to stop, right? Because it is later on building your team, organizing things, and it's all relationship and maintaining relationships and connections. That's why with our Renaissance, with all these past leaders, our connections, leadership, just everything we do is so broad that they'll look at the group and go, oh yeah, I know a handful of people. Trust. They'll do business with us. And one thing, because we do it on scale with technology, we have the right pricing.
Nice.
You have trust, pricing, and then execution, and people you actually want to work with.
Love it. There's probably going to come a time where, your daughter will see this. Would you like to say something to her on camera?
Well, Leah, this is all yours later, so I'm kind of grooming you to take over for me one day. So it really is her legacy, my legacy, but giving it to her, if it can last. And a lot of the companies I did build are still around today. So I am excited to pass something to her. Not to say she can't earn it and do it herself, but if I build something and there's something to give, I'm going to give it to her, obviously. So I'm going to hopefully raise her, train her, help her. And if it's not her, that's okay. Somebody else will run it and she can just take the passive income.
That's awesome. Well, I think that's a nice bow we could tie around that gift. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Mr. James Huang, thank you so much for the pleasure, sir. It's been a real honor, and I'd like to do this again sometime, maybe pick your brain a little bit more on some of the more exciting things, too.
Anytime, Eddie. No, the pleasure was mine. It's always fun because I've been watching you, seeing your consistency, seeing your heart, drive, desire, and I always like to help other people and support, like-minded. So when you did this, I kept on reaching out, let's go collaborate, let's do something together. So it's my honor, my pleasure to do this.
Appreciate that, sir. Thank you so much.